welcome to today's On This Day in Tudor History with me, Claire Ridgway, author of On This Day in Tudor History. Now today I'm taking you back to the reign of King Henry VIII. For On This Day in Tudor History, the 31st of October 1537, Lord Thomas Howard, second son of Thomas Howard, 2nd Duke of Norfolk, and his second wife Agnes Tilney, died while imprisoned in the Tower of London. He was about 25 years of age at his death. But how had the Duke of Norfolk's son come to this rather sorry end in the Tower of London? Well, he'd fallen in love with the wrong woman. Let me tell you a bit more about Lord Thomas Howard and the love affair that led to his undoing. Lord Thomas Howard was born in around 1512 and was the younger half-brother of another Thomas Howard, 3rd Duke of Norfolk, who was the second Duke's son by his first wife Elizabeth Tilney. Antiquary John Leyland is thought to have been this Lord Thomas Howard's tutor or companion in his early days. Lord Thomas Howard made his debut at the royal court in 1533 when he was about 21. That was the year that Henry VIII married Howard's niece, Anne Boleyn. He was appointed as one of the canopy bearers for the christening of Anne's daughter, the future Elizabeth I, in September 1533. And it was at the royal court that he met and fell in love with Lady Margaret Douglas, who was the daughter of Margaret Tudor, Dowager Queen of Scotland, and her second husband, Archibald Douglas, 6th Earl of Angus. Lady Margaret Douglas was also King Henry VIII's niece. In early 1536, Margaret and Thomas agreed to marry, becoming betrothed, but they'd not sought the king's blessing for their relationship. And when their relationship was discovered in July 1536, the king was furious. With the king's daughters both being illegitimate by this point, Margaret had a claim to the throne, and she was an important lady. Margaret and Thomas were thrown in the Tower of London for their disobedience, and on the 18th of July 1536, an Act of Attainder was passed against Thomas, accusing the young man of having been led and seduced by the devil, not having God afore his eyes, not regarding his duty of allegiance that he oweth to have borne to the king, our and his most dread sovereign lord, and going on to say that it is vehemently suspected and presumed maliciously and traitorously minding and imagining to put division in this realm, and to interrupt impedity, and let the said succession of the crown contrary to the limitation thereof mentioned in the said act. The act also sentenced Lord Thomas Howard to death. Margaret fell ill while she was imprisoned in the Tower, and so she was moved to Sion Abbey and eventually released on the 29th of October 1537. However, just 2 days after her release, her former fiancé, Thomas, died. It was a natural death rather than the death he'd been sentenced to. Although it was rumoured that he'd been poisoned, it appears that he just became ill due to the conditions of his imprisonment. The day after his death, Edward Seymour, Earl of Hertford, wrote to Thomas Cromwell, the King's Master Secretary, saying that he'd told the King of Lord Thomas's death, along with a request from Thomas's mother, Agnes, to have her son's remains for burial. Hertford stated, "His Grace is content she shall have him, so that she bury him without pomp." Chronicler Charles Risley records that his body was carried to Thetford and there buried, referring to Thetford Abbey in Norfolk. Now a bit of trivia. The British Library's Devonshire manuscript, a miscellany of early modern Tudor courtly verse written by a circle which included Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, also contains several poems linked to the lovers Lord Thomas Howard and Lady Margaret Douglas. And another bit of trivia. Lady Margaret Douglas fell in love with another Howard man, Thomas's half-nephew Charles, in 1540, and ended up being confined once more to Sion and then Kenninghall for her behaviour. She married Matthew Stewart, Earl of Lennox, in 1544. It seems so sad, doesn't it, that a man ended up dying in the Tower of London just for falling in love with the wrong woman. Tomorrow, I'll be introducing you to a Tudor courtier who managed to escape charges of treason because he was friends with the right people. Do make sure you're subscribed to my channel. You can click right there, and that you've hit the bell as well so that you don't miss out on that video. Also on this day in Tudor history, the 31st of October 1517, reformer, priest and professor of theology Martin Luther is said to have posted his 95 theses on the door of the castle church in Wittenberg. Although all we know for definite is that he actually posted them to the Bishop of Brandenburg and the Archbishop of Mainz. His actions on this day had a huge impact on Europe and were the catalyst of the European Reformation. You can find out more about Martin Luther's work and what happened next in last year's video, and you can find a link to that in the description. Thank you for joining me today. You can leave me a comment. Oreo's telling you that you really should leave a comment, and you can give me a like as well, and I'll be back very soon. Take care. Bye bye.